All right, welcome in to a playoff edition, another playoff edition of Watching. This one is an obvious one that's been coming if you've been following the stream tonight. Cam Schlittler, playoff debut versus the Red Sox, Massachusetts native Yankees Red Sox, winner take all game. And boy, did he come through. Let's just get right into it. We're going to watch this whole start. We're going to break it down from the beginning. Here he is, Mr. Cam Schlittler, the rookie, came on really strong at the end. Started switching up his pitch mix a tiny bit. But overall, it's all fastballs from this dude. He's got straight gas. Today, he's mixed in more sinkers, as we're going to get into. But let's just get right into the outing, and we're going to break it down every single pitch from this fantastic performance from Mr. Cam Schlittler in his playoff debut. First batter of the game gets it started with a swinging strike right out the gate, 99 miles an hour. So the big key for him that I was thinking coming into the start is let's just see how he's going to get ahead in the count. That's been everything for him, getting ahead in the count, elevating the fastball late, getting people onto fastball timing, allowing his other pitches to play. But the velocity was spectacular in this game, as you can see here in the early going, 100 miles an hour all day. This is an overcooked 95 mile an hour cutter. But 95.9 mile an hour cutter is frankly special. And so that was a good sign because all these pitches, not just the fastball, were up across the board. Here's a 96 mile an hour cutter. Gets in on the hands of Duran very, very nicely. Breaks his bat. We got Firewood out on the field. 54.8 mile an hour contact here. Breaks the bat. Duran's trying to dive. He's on fastball. This pitch cuts in hard towards the hands. And it's a really nice weak contact first out of the game. Trevor Story next up. Starts him with a 100 mile an hour sinker. Now this was interesting to note. Heavy usage of the sinker in this game. Not something that was really a hallmark of Cam's early pitching this season. Mostly four-seamers, mixed some sinkers in. But he really relied on it heavily in this game to great, great, great effect. There's a four-seam up, though. He toggled between sinkers and four-seamers in this at-bat. Makes it really hard to get on plane for one of those or the other when you are constantly switching up the movements. And he gets in on Story, pops it up, 81 mile an hour, easy out. Yankees just won the game over here, so they will be playing the Blue Jays in the second round. In large part, thanks to Cam Schlittler. Let's continue watching the rest of this. Alex Bregman here with 2 outs in the first. Four seam right down the middle. This is what he did all day, pounding the strike zone, getting ahead 0-1. That was the name of the game. Curveball in there. Cutter up top, but that's okay. Even though he misses big time there, comes right back and throws a perfect backdoor sinker at 100 miles an hour. Doesn't even draw the swing. Locks him up. And incredible first inning. We are off and rolling. Masataka Yoshida is up next. This is probably the one hitter that you would have said has the swing type to kind of defend the fastball up in the zone of Schlittler. And that played out a little bit, but also Cam was also a step ahead of him, as we'll see here. Immediately jumps ahead 0-2 once again. Tries for the high fastball. Goes for it again. Works to 2-2. And then this is what I was talking about. Yoshida, with that choppy little swing, is able to kind of backhand, like a tennis backhand slice shot into left field for the first hit of the game. And that was the first hit for quite a while. Rafaela comes up. 99 fastball in. 98 fastball in. This was the first moment of adversity when Mr. Schlittler would be tested. But he did not relent. 98 away. Now he toggles to the sinker. So again, throwing all fastballs for the most part, but switching up the shapes. Four-seam shape, sinker shape, four-seam shape, sinker shape. Very hard for the hitters to figure out exactly which angle to attack the ball out of the hand at. See, this is four-seam up middle. In a bubble, this is a really good location to hit. But it's 98 with outstanding ride on it, 18 inches of induced vertical break, meaning it has a lot of lift to it. And also he's shown him sinkers in this at-bat, so he's kind of in between on exactly how he wants to, bring his bat head through the zone. And he ends up being behind on that, and then he goes back to the sinker again. So this is just some diabolical pitching where these pitches are each coming in at around 99 miles an hour, but the movement on them is distinct and different and kind of unpredictable for the hitter. Now Nate Lowe. Four seam at the top, strike, very nice. Four seam at the top again, mind the location, perfection, back-to-back pitches at the very tippy top of the zone. Now he goes up for the chase, but the Red Sox had no choice but to be on the fastball because he came out just fastball, 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 fastball. He is the first pitcher in postseason history with 8 innings, no walks, 12 strikeouts. That's how good this performance was. 100 miles an hour, middle down, lows late on that. That just shows you the type of velo he had because that would have been a hittable pitch. Comes back with the cutter. And it's funny, a lot of the guys I've been doing these videos on, it's really the art of pitching. You know, guys are in, out, up, down. And there's some of that in this game. I mean, here's a front door sinker. This is something he literally never did up until this start. This is an accidental front door freeze Johnson on a 101 mile an hour sinker. But really with him, it's just all gas, man, all the time. Just putting the pressure on the opponent with straight fastballs. Here's Narvaez. That was actually paint. Doesn't get the call, but just, you know what? Switches to the sinker. 2-0. Fills up the zone. Gets a weak ground ball. So, man, the two fastball approach, it's tried. It's true. It works. It's a great approach, especially when you got 98, 99, 100 in the tank. And that's what we saw tonight from Cam. And in the early going, it wasn't all strikeouts. There was a lot of easy, weak contact outs. So that's through 2 innings. And here's Abreu. Fastball away. Ball 1.
Hero of the 78 season. You missed his middle name. I mentioned it once.
Ooh, this is painted down and away. Absolutely dotted. So again, the command was a big part of this. It's not just the velocity. He lived in the strike zone. He had count leverage all the time, and then he did a good job toggling the fastball shapes. And here's even a 2-1 curveball behind in the zone for good measure. He hadn't even shown that to this point, but you can see they're on the fastball. Abreu was way out in front of that and pops it up, so nice job there. Romy Gonzalez. 91-4 cutter on the black, strike 1. Double up, a little further away, but that's going to open up that sinker coming back the other direction. Romy's locked up on that. 1-2 count. He's going to come back to the sinker again, and he chews him up. So, just dominating stuff, honestly, at this point. And he started really rolling here. Here's Duran. He'll be the final out of the 3rd inning. 100 mile an hour, first pitch strike. That's been a theme so far. It'll be a theme all freaking night. Back to our curveball. And he was just in flow state. What more is there to see? Everybody in the stadium immediately can tell when a pitcher's on to this degree. 0-2 count again, and cutter down, see you later. This time he actually shaped his cutter a little bit more slider-ish for me, and to great effect. Duran is trying to get on time for the fastball. You see how early he's up in his leg kick. Before he's even released it, he's getting ready to hit the fastball. That's how hard Cam's throwing. And then the slider just completely undresses him. So, nasty, nasty pitching there. And we are through 3. We head to the 4th. Trevor Story. And Trevor Story is probably the guy I would say that looked to be the most on time. But it's hard when you're the only guy. Pretty much nobody else was. So, also Cam, that's dotted on the corner at 99. So it's not just strikes; it's the quality of the strikes that really takes this outing to the next level. There's a little curveball down. 2-1 coming back with the fastball. And just beats him, man. It's still fast. Story tries to stay through it. Ultimately, the pitch gets him off the barrel just a bit. 95-7 on the pop-up, and it's a can of corn for Judge. Bregman, now he's seeing it. This guy's pounding the strike zone. I'm going to get ahead of one. Takes a shot, first pitch. Unfortunately, it's really well located up in. Pushes it out to Judge for another can of corn. So 1 pitch out here. That was big because that got Cam the opportunity to pitch eventually an extra inning, which he did get. He got the 8th inning tonight. Yoshida. Now Yoshida ended up getting the 2nd hit. He had both of the first 2 hits. Let's see how that goes down. Sinker away. Sinker away. Actually, perfect first 2 pitches. So Cam once again establishing that he's going to be in the strike zone early and often. Back foot cutter take. Here comes a 4-seam. And again, that choppy swing that Yoshida has is probably the best swing, most tailor-made to handle Schlittler's velocity. And it played out there. But there's only so much he could do. Story was on time, but didn't get any results. I felt that Bregman had a good approach, but didn't get any results. Yoshida was the only one getting some results, but also he's got no speed factor, and the batters behind him did little to nothing. So here's Cedon, and he's going to throw him a little first pitch sinker, and that's the other advantage of the sinker. You get those early outs, go deeper in the game. This chews up Cedon beautifully, and he is through 4. We head to the 5th. Nathaniel Lowe. 4-seam up away ball 1. He's going to double up on that. And it's a little weak ground ball, but well placed. Only 83 off the bat. So that's a weak ground ball. That's generally considered a win for the pitcher. But it gets through. And now he's got to bear down a little bit. And that he does. Narvaez. 98 sinker in. Again, 0-1. And if he swings at that pitch, it's probably a ground ball. So that was a beautiful choice and execution. Now, his cutter command, you might have noticed, has been pretty poor. But lucky for him, his fastball command has been outstanding. So he can afford to throw the cutter mostly only ahead in the count. Doesn't have to strike it. So even here, throws it for a ball, gets the 2-1. And he knows when he has to throw a strike. He's got the sinker and the 4-seam in his back pocket any day. And actually, the curveball had good command too. So even within, frankly, historic and dominating level of starting pitching in this game for Cam, he still had a pitch that wasn't there. But he didn't try to force it. He just used it in the right spots. And he lived off his other pitches. See, here's a fastball challenge heater. He had seen sinker before, so he's late on that 4 and a little under it. Now he's going to go back to the sinker. He's really sticking and moving, doing a nice job of pitch calling in this game. Another foul ball. This time he's going to locate it better, though. Gets it to the outside corner perfectly. Narvaez swings over the top. And another strikeout for Cam. Now it's Abreu. He doesn't stop there. Jumps right ahead of Abreu. I mean, again, his 0-0 conviction is a thing of beauty tonight. Another one there. So the first pitch. Let's head back here for a second. The first pitch, I want you to note the location. Middle, right? That's about as middle as you can get. Second pitch, he makes it a little harder to hit, right? Gets to the top. So goes from easier to hit to harder to hit. And let's see where this 0-2 is. Even tougher to hit up away. So outstanding progression there, going from most hittable to least hittable as the at-bat moves on. And he doesn't even have to switch pitch types. It's all 4-seamers. And yeah, you can go sit in the truck as well, Mr. Abreu. Now, Romy does get a single here, but it brings us up to our biggest moment of the game, and really the only moment that Cam was ever really challenged. And even within this hit, you can see the fundamentals stayed good. He got ahead with the first pitch fastball, misses with the curveball here. But then throws a perfect one after that. I mean, look how this pitch is dotted, man. This is a curveball right on the edge. And when I mean right on the edge, I mean both edges. That's a great freaking pitch. 1-2 count. Overcooks the heater up a little bit. Gonna come back with that sinker. This is a new thing. He would have just thrown another 4 before. Even though he doesn't get the hit here, it's a great swing by Romy Gonzalez. The approach doesn't change. All right, so this is the one moment of the game where he was challenged. First and second, 2 outs. Third time through the order, coming up here, and Mr. Jaron Duran. But nothing changes. Attacks him with a incredibly quality first pitch fastball here. So in this spot, they are aware that you're pounding first pitch strikes. They have those stats. They know that this is an opportunity to maybe ambush. You're down 4 runs here. You need to get a 3-run homer or extra base hit here. This is a real opportunity, so you come out swinging. But he throws it in such a hard pitch to do anything with. This pitch gets to that up and away spot. It's not quite at the top, but that's a pretty hard pitch to drive unless you put a great swing. And not to mention, once again, it was 99.5 miles an hour, so that doesn't hurt either. Duran fouls it off, and he gets to 0-1. Now he's going to come back with another 4-seamer. This one, he gets to the top. So, again, going from hittable to less hittable, and he's 0-2 like he's been all freaking day. And then he finally here is able to execute inside. Now, he didn't really mean to do this, but when you're in swing mode and you're trying to catch up to 100 miles an hour, and again, look at how early Duran loads. Duran is fully committed, basically timing-wise to swinging, and Cam hasn't even released it. His foot's not even down. So he's a little jumpy. and he can't hold up. He strikes out. Big time play there, big time pitch, and that was kind of their best opportunity off him all day. We go to the 6th. Story, I mentioned Story was on time, probably the most on time. This is the best contact of the day, and it's still a bleeder, but he was right on time for that cutter. Little semi-line drive into left and a leadoff hit. So you're thinking, okay, they got something cooking here. But Cam was never shaken in this game. He really never showed much. He just kept pitching, kept making pitches. First pitch sinker, strike to Bregman. Bam. Double up. Get him on the ground. Jazz to Volpe. Volpe with a great pick here. This was a key in the moment. Great pick by Volpe on this throw from Jazz. Jazz kind of gator-armed it a little bit. Nice little scoop there by Anthony. Keeps him in it. And that's 1 out in that inning, and then he just does the rest. 3-pitch strikeout to Yoshida. Now, Yoshida was 2 for 2 coming into this at-bat. Cam was able to flip the script. Fastball up. Now to the curveball. This is something he hadn't tried yet. Well, I think he threw 1 in the first at-bat, but gets ahead of 0-2. And now he goes way up top at the fastball. This time, high enough that even with the short, choppy swing, Yoshida can't get to it. That's a heck of a pitch. Big strikeout there, and then Rafaela. And at this point, everybody in the stands and everybody watching at home was starting to really catch on to that this was something special. To show Max and Garrett there talking. They're getting a front row seat to a historic start here. And it's just so cool. This was such a big game, such a big moment. I've mentioned Cam's from Walpole, Mass. That's a suburb of Boston. Whole family grew up Red Sox fans. Now he's pitching in this rivalry, and this spot comes through with this performance. I mean, you don't even dream about this. This is beyond a dream. Fastball up, doors again. No shot for Rafaela. Try again next time. You're not hitting that. That's still straight smoke to end the 6th. 7th inning, Nathaniel Love. Cutter up top, gets the call. Yankees had relievers out there. Weaver, Cruz doing their thing. Spoiler alert, Schlittler didn't let them get in the game. Only one man came in this game, and it was going to be Bednar. Schlittler was getting every other out. Little pop-up here. Finally gets an out with an off-speed pitch. Gets somebody out front in low there. Narvaez, who's been chewing up with fastballs all day. Let's see where he goes here. Fastball up in. So this time it is a ball 1, but he comes right back in the zone, and he gets the 2 strikes. The race to 2 strikes is honestly even more important than the first pitch strikes. And what the race to 2 strikes is how often you get to 2 strikes before you get to 2 balls. So it's really 2 out of the first 3 pitches being strikes more important than necessarily that first one. And that's what Cam does there. He throws ball 1, but he still wins the race to 2. Puts the batter in defensive mode. Executes a fastball up and in an unhittable location at 99. And gets the pop-up to Wells. 2 outs in the 7th. Now Abreu. Now we were wondering in the chat, because I was live during this portion of the game, whether Booney would keep him in here for an 8th inning, because he was starting to really feel it. I mean, not starting to feel it. He's been feeling it for the whole time. And there was no signs of it slowing down. Yeah, the velocity dropped a little bit, but he's going to finish up this bat super nasty with a beautiful backdoor cutter here to Abreu at 94.5. That's an extra speedy backdoor cutter. And then fastball, challenge heater down the middle. No chance. Gets over the barrel. This ball played like it was 105. Man, that's just a challenge heater, and my heater's just better than you. Does earn himself that 8th inning. Very impressive to see. And he handles the 8th inning with just about... he passes this test with flying colors. First pitch sinker strike, so he's back to pouring in those first pitch strikes. Cutter away ball. And the Red Sox are running out of answers at this point. They wanted this guy out of the game by any means necessary. And now they realize that the pitch count might not necessarily drive him, so they're thinking, we're going to have to score against him. 2-2 here, and he gets his final strikeout of the day. 12th punchy here on, guess what, another fastball up. Fastball still exploding. 105 pitches into this game. And then I mentioned, these guys have been frustrated all night on the Red Sox side. They're thinking, we got to get something going. We got to be more aggressive. This guy's throwing strikes. So 4th time through the order. 4th time through the order. Durant comes up. Tries to get there, pops it up, and McMahon with a ridiculous catch into the dugout, gets him a 1-pitch out. And at this point, people were like, ooh, maybe can he get 4 more outs? But I kind of knew he just needed 1 more. And he is able to get it right here from Story on a first pitch sinker. Again, they were like, he's throwing me strikes. We got to swing. But not this time. Little candy hop to Volpe makes the play. Only 87 off the bat. And that's the day for Cam Schlittler. It's 107 pitches, 12 strikeouts. Yankees win the game. Bednar did the rest in the 9th. This was frankly a historical performance. Here is the box score. Official: 8 innings, 5 hits, no walks, 12 strikeouts, 107 pitches, only 5 hard hit balls, which is impressive considering how many guys he faced. Here is the breakdown of his pitches for this game. Big time fastball attack, 54 seamers, 25 sinkers, so 75 fastballs. And if you count cutters as fastballs, another 21 cutters. And then 11 curveballs as the one time he kind of changed speeds. Other than that, it was all cheese. The velocity was up in this game. You could tell that the fastball was playing even better than usual, averaging basically 99 miles an hour with both of his fastball types throughout this game. As for the whiffs, he got 18 whiffs on 54 swings in this game. The big winner was that 4-seam, 11 whiffs on 26 swings for a 42% whiff rate on 4-seam. That is outstanding stuff. And very rare in this day and age, and that speaks to the quality of the fastball, in addition to the fact that he did toggle that sinker in quite a bit this game. 14 swings to sinkers and 5 whiffs. So he kept them guessing the whole game. 4-seam, sinker, not really sure. I can't really tell. They're both coming at me at a crazy velocity, and they're moving differently. And that was the trick he had going today that I think took him to the next level. That, and then the fundamental of the zone percentage. 63% zone percentage today, way, way above average and outstanding. Especially when you're featuring the stuff that you have, that he had this night, which is, hey man, let's just throw the stuff over the plate, let it work, understand how good you are, put the onus on the hitter and just read the at-bats. They show you something, you can adjust, but until then, pound the zone and make them work. So that was what it looked like from there. We'll do one quick look at the pitch 3D, and then we will wrap it up. Cam Schlittler, look at all these pitches, man. All right, so we need to find the 4-seamers. Here were the 4s, and look at that now. One adjustment he had made when I covered the Yankees a couple weeks back was early on in his tenure, he was mostly just 4-seams up, and that's kind of what he was today, right? There's no real action here at the bottom of the zone, but the first adjustment he made when he took his first leap up was in a start versus Tampa a couple months ago by starting to utilize 4-seam fastball down early in the count and then going up late in the count. What he did this game is he supplemented it with sinker, and he used some sinker down. So you see these orange dots are sinkers. There's a lot of them more in the lower third of the zone. There's a few that actually get to the bottom. And now he's not only working movement differences, but he's got height differences. 4-seams up, sinkers in the middle and down. One pitch is running a little more into a righty, one pitch isn't. So these pitches worked really well off each other, especially when you layer in the cutters. He didn't have great command of them, but this is the one pitch that has a little bite to the left. Think of it as a supercharged slider. Let's see if I can get rid of sinker here and 4-seam just so you can get a look at these cutters. Again, not great command of them, but it serves a purpose. It goes a different direction than the fastball while also being very fast. And then here are the curveballs. Curveball plays really well off the cutter. That's another reason why you have the cutter. Also plays well off the 4-seam, and it's his slowest pitch, and it served a nice purpose. So that is really all I got for Cam Schlittler. Unbelievable performance, 18 swings and misses, by far the most in this game, leads the Yankees to victory, and really just a legendary performance. Next stop, Toronto, so it doesn't get any easier, but I believe I read that he was just now the first pitcher ever in a playoff game with 8 innings, no walks, and 12 strikeouts. So congrats to Cam Schlittler and the Yankees. You're moving on, and this was a historic and incredibly impressive first start into the playoffs. So thank you for watching with me, Adam Bonavino, on Cam Schlittler, and I hope you will like, subscribe, and all those types of things to my channel if you like watching content like this. Thanks for hanging with me on watching. Until next time, see you later.